I think Ross made the pitch for me already. I don't think I have to say anything more. But what you're going to hear is it's going to be a continuation of the same theme. You're all here because you think there's value in the network. And network deserves its place now on the table. And I'm going to tell you, absolutely yes. So I'm going to start with a story. And the story goes all the way back to about 20 years ago when, as a developer, whatever developer you are, it doesn't matter what it is. You could be building a web app. You could be building a mobile app. It doesn't matter what it is. You just needed three things. You needed some compute so you could actually host your application. You needed some storage. And then, yes, there was this thing called network. But the network was in a lot of ways a black box for you. Guess what happened? For compute and storage, that problem got solved. Instead of ordering up a 20 gig storage block over an invoice over email back and forth, that became a complete service. And we've seen that. We've seen that now, what's happened in the hyperscaler world with compute and storage. There's trillions of dollars of value that was created as part of that. Network didn't do that. There was no way to do that till now. And I think what Henry started off with is that decoupling, that kind of almost disaggregation of the network is starting. It had started a while ago, but there was no way to standardize it. Now it's being standardized with Camara kind of coming into the picture. Now it's being used. There's actually demand for it on the other side. You can have supply all the way through, but if there's no demand, nobody uses it. So you have now the supply building up, and then you have also the demand building up from the developer community as well as the enterprises for real use cases. You saw Ross talk about a couple of those cases. I'll share some of the similar examples. So it is absolutely the time for the network now. And I think that's the theme that you'll see, and that for tangible use cases, which will happen in the future. Let me start with this flywheel. Similar kind of flywheel you saw with Ross, actually. What do we see? As Ericsson Vonage, we are one of the largest global communication platforms in the world. We have a community of almost about 1.6 million plus developers, hundreds and thousands of enterprise customers, and they do want to just do one thing. What is that thing? Make money. And how do they want to make money? They want to make money by creating new use cases, whether that's prevention for fraud, whether that's prevention for detecting location, whether that's tracking. If you're a logistics company, how do you track your entire warehousing in an IoT device which requires almost zero battery? You cannot do that today if you're using a GPS location system. It doesn't work. But if you use a cell ID triangulation from the network, which is now exposed as a Camara API called Verify Location, you can. So the use cases just suddenly start to blow up when you start to look at it that way. And as that happens, as more and more developers start using it, there's more need for capacity inside the network. There's more need for capacity inside the network becomes programmable, and it benefits everybody. It benefits the enterprises, it benefits you. As an end user, it benefits you. Ross talked about the example of authentication. How many of us have been victims ourselves of SMS scam, phishing scam, or other things like that, where you click on a link and you go away and somebody gets your information and you're done? Well, guess what? You don't have to do that anymore. Why? Because there's an API called Number Verify. What does that do? It actually uses a thing called your phone number, which is identified to you. That's your number. That's your ID. And on the back end, it verifies that phone number is something that is only attributed to your device. So there is no SMS at all. Nothing. So the fraud suddenly goes away, right? So these kind of use cases are tangible. They are things that you can use as users, as us, all of us. We can use that as of right now. And that's what's exciting about it. And this train keeps going in terms of the capabilities. We think this is the stack. This is the entire network stack that's needed to make this successful. You have to have the ability to take all the way from the bottom, the complexity of the network, the RAN layer, the packet core layer. On top of that, you have the aggregation layer, the OSS, VSS layer. And then, yes, one of the most important, and the thing that was missing so far, is the layer in the green, which is the actual developer layer, which allows you to take all these capabilities and create absolutely simplified functions that can be used by developers worldwide today. We have, by the way, when I say a developer, sometimes that term gets overused or misconstrued. What is a developer? A developer could be somebody who's a two-person shop sitting somewhere and creating an iOS app or an Android app and putting it on the App Store and making money. That could be a developer. A developer could be somebody who is in Uber, Airbnb, or it could be in Google or somewhere else, and they come in and they want to start using something very quickly for their own applications they're building. And then over time, they start to say, oh, this is cool, I want to expand the usage. And then suddenly that developer, one or two developer, becomes a complete enterprise. And the enterprise becomes the customer. That's what we see, right? And that's the value of something like this. This is all self-service. At the top layer, it's all self-service. And that's what Vonage kind of brings to the table along with this entire portfolio of the solutions with Ericsson. And this entire stack allows that aggregation to happen at scale. That's how you get global scale. That's how you get the partnerships that we have announced over here in the last few days at Mobile World Congress. We think that this is a continuation of an industry which already existed. It's called the CPaaS world, the Communication Platform as a Service. This industry is about a $10 to $20 billion industry. We think that this new industry that's getting created with the new network APIs, helping with the standardization of Camara, is probably that much or a lot bigger. If I include QoD, and by the way, quality on demand, that's another topic in itself. It's something that we can talk about much more detail. We think that market could be massive. The use cases there could actually be something that none of us have even thought about. So this market is a continuation of what has existed. It's not new. It's a playbook. It's already there. We're now just developing that playbook to a whole new level and taking it to use cases that none of us would have ever thought about. We announced here, actually, something similar. We announced something called as a network registry. This is the industry's first way to take network APIs and register them through a self-service experience. And then if you're an operator, if you're a developer, it doesn't matter what it is, you know you can go access all of those APIs in one place and be able to register, and the operators know they are meeting the regulations in each of the countries, and the developers know that they can go access that API, whether it's a SIM swap or any other API in different countries. So it's a single place. It's the industry's first platform for doing this registration at scale. And then we also announced the availability of a couple of other APIs, the number verification API actually with our partners over here, Telefonica and Deutsche Telekom and Orange and Vodafone in Spain and in Germany. So you're starting to see the markets develop and they show up, right? So these are, and the way we are doing this is in regions. So you don't want to do it where you only have coverage for a third of the population. That wouldn't make sense. If you're a user of something else, then why would you want to use that? So we're going country by country, starting Spain, Germany, you'll see a lot more. So that's the exciting part. It's an early market. It's a market that all of us will eventually benefit from because these are use cases we would use every single day. But ultimately, the power will come back to the network and how the network creates this value for us. So I want to leave you with this thought. We get notifications today. About 3.6 billion notifications happen every single day. You get notifications for delivery for your package. You get notifications for delivery or appointments for your doctors. Or you get a notification for, I don't know, like some retailers trying to give you a package and send you some 20% off coupon in a notification. Try responding back to that. Try responding back to that notification you get in SMS. Mostly what you'll see is, oops, I don't understand it, or it doesn't work. There is no two-way conversation that happens. We think the world's going to move from this one-way notification into the world of this two-way conversation, where you'll be able to converse with a brand, and you'll be able to talk to them, you'll be able to get support from them. And the way to do that would be enabled by a lot of the capabilities inside the network APIs. And then eventually, this all leads into an immersive world. And the immersive world is this world of XR and VR and how all of that captures the imagination of buying things over there, getting support from things over there. So this is an exciting world. This is where it's going to go, and it's going to be powered eventually by a lot of the capabilities inside the network. The use cases are incredible. You can dream. If you can dream it, it's available. And the beauty of a platform is that it's out there. Anybody can access it, and anybody can use it as of today. So exciting time. I think I want to leave you with exactly the same thoughts that it's absolutely the time for the network again. Compute and storage had their time. They're going to still grow, create trillions in value. We think that the network has its time now. And in doing so, there's going to be monetization, not just for the industry inside the operators, but absolutely good value for developers and enterprises, and eventually, yes, all of us. Thank you.